Africa offers unique value propositions to companies looking to expand over the continent. Firstly, favorable time zones. The continent boasts multiple time zones over the different countries, and many of those time zones are in close proximity with the European countries. Secondly, the abundance of talent in Africa. Every year there is a significant number of fresh graduates that hit the market from the universities of Africa and at the international. That, coupled with the fact that Africa has the youngest and fastest growing population in the world, means that there's an overflowing well of talent in Africa at the moment. Thirdly, Africa remaining a hub of developing nations means that the labor and operating costs remain relatively lower in Africa than the more industrialized countries worldwide. Most people tend to underestimate Africa's size and potential, and at the same time overestimates its challenges. Challenges like political instability. While it is true that some countries in Africa face political disruptions, it is also essential to note that the majority of African countries have stable governments and thriving economies. Second challenge, lack of access to technology and innovation. This could not be farther from the truth. Contrary to popular belief, Africa is currently undergoing a significant technological revolution, a revolution that is fueled by its young and tech-savvy population. Third challenge, infrastructure gaps. While it is true, Africa remains largely underdeveloped and infrastructure gaps persist. However, these infrastructure gaps can prove to be business opportunities for any shrewd investor. It's simple really. Multinational companies that are in Africa today and that are taking advantage of these infrastructure gaps are faster growing and more profitable than their global peers. The oil and gas and mining sector have been prominent over the last 30 years or so in Africa. But nowadays, these are not the only sectors that are booming. Another sector which is prominent at the moment is the agribusiness sector, because simply food is a basic need for everyone. Second sector is the technology sector. Africa has a young and smart talent pool that the world is slowly discovering and starting to tap into. Fintech is another sector that is worth noting, because Africa today is home to over 500 fintech firms and has the second fastest growing payment and banking markets after Latin America. I would like also to mention the urbanization phenomenon happening in Africa at the moment. With this urbanization phenomenon, urban areas are expected to have significant growth for the next 10 to 15 years. With this growth, a lot of opportunities are being created in sectors like real estate, construction, engineering, architecture, urban development, and so on. There are challenges like geopolitical complexities and relative economic volatility that still persist in Africa. This, coupled with complex labor and taxation regulations, lengthy bureaucratic delays, and lack of access to skilled talent databases, can quickly discourage companies from setting up shop in Africa. Working with an EOR like GoGlobal removes this requirement of having to set up a legal entity in a country to operate in. The EOR model is a fast and compliant way to hire staff in any targeted country, without HR teams having to worry about processing international payroll or managing staff in a foreign, unknown country. Therefore, companies can focus on their core activities, test the market potential, deploy their sales team, all in a controlled risk environment. Pairing EOR with GoGlobal's Recruit and Hire solution allows companies to fill the hard-to-fill roles in technology, sales, and client services. This pairing covers the whole employee lifecycle, starting from the sourcing to the onboarding, managing the benefits up until the offboarding. Africa is here and now, a land of opportunities with a wealth of resources and an abundance of talent. Africa's large underserved markets represent numerous business opportunities for companies who have the right vision and the right strategy. Successful companies in Africa realize that they are not simply here to make profit, but also to contribute to the development of a whole nation, of a whole continent. When you're in Africa, you're not simply doing business, you're touching lives, transforming societies, creating history, and building the future. At GoGlobal, we have the in-house expertise to make expanding into Africa easier. Our talented professionals are passionate about showcasing the vast potential and the advantages that Africa can offer to multinational companies.